Joe, just your overall thoughts on the game. A lot to take in, obviously, overtime. Akron versus Ken, the Wagon wheel. What do you think about how the game played out?
First of all, you got to give credit to Coach Carney and his staff and players. Playing a great game. It's a shame someone had to lose. It's a bigger shame that it was us, but that was a heck of a rivalry game. Told our kids all week it would, 60 minutes or as long as it took, no clock, no scoreboard, and unfortunately they made one more play than we did.
Coach, obviously you talk about your team never giving up. Just talk about their efforts. I mean, down 18 points at one point. Just talk about how they were able to just fight back and take this game in OT.
Yeah, that's certainly a tribute to our leadership and our culture and our kind of never say die mentality. That the game isn't over until the last second ticks off the clock, and it was very similar to the game here 2 years ago when I believe we were down 17 with about 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and our kids just kept swinging and making plays, and it's like I said, a testament to their persistence, and like I said, our culture and our belief. And like I said, it's a shame. Feel bad for our team. Feel bad for the seniors that we weren't able to finish out and off.
What do you think of Ben Finley? Over 400 yards, his best outing here at Akron.
Yeah, obviously he was distraught after the game, and we're going to go through the film and see a bunch of plays that we could have made in all three phases, and we could talk about that a little bit later. But we're not in that position to win the game without Ben. To see his growth over the last 2 years, and particularly the last 4 or 5 games, it has been impressive. And to go for over 400, 3 touchdowns, catch a 2-point conversion, have some crucial scrambles, right, outside of 1 interception and a couple overthrows. I thought he played a really good football game.
Jordan Gann, at the end of the first half, had about 70 yards rushing, ended the game with only 104. Say only, it's not a 100-yard game, but was that just because after getting down so much you had to throw the ball more, or was there any other issues that factored into that?
No, I think what you said was right. You want to strive for balance, and obviously Jordan's a heck of a player, and I think is right on the cusp of being a 1,000-yard back for us. First time since Dennis Kennedy, who was with us in 2008, and I called plays for him. So, but yes, it was a byproduct of us being down, a bunch of points and needing to score and score quickly, and throwing the ball probably more than we would in a closer game where we don't got to get a bunch of points quickly.
Coach, guest score, late in that fourth quarter, down 2. Can you kind of walk me through that 2-point conversion play, the pass to Ben? I mean, one of the best plays I've seen all year.
Yeah, it's something we've been working probably for the past month. Get down on the goal line, and you have 2 plays in. If they're in one look, you run one play, a different look, you run a play. So essentially, we caught them in man-to-man, and when teams play man, generally speaking, no one accounts for the quarterback, and the play that Doug Peterson and whoever that was it Carson Wentz or whoever, Philly special. It's called special. So they were in man-to-man and pressure man-to-man. We got to hand it off. Marcel got it, and no one accounted for the quarterback, and we were confident. I called it initially, and then had myself talked out of it, and the kids talked me back into it. They're like, "No, coach, we're going to get this one." So it was good to see it work.
You guys were out scoring, and you guys get a huge fumble recovery. How big was that for the momentum of the team?
I couldn't hear, but I'm sorry.
You guys go down, and then you guys get a fumble recovery. How big was that fumble and the onside kick trying to change the trajectory of the game?
When you're fighting for possessions, and you're fighting against time, you got to find ways to get the ball back, and then certainly the pop over onside where Marcel, on top of having 200 yards receiving, made a heck of a play there on special teams, and punching the ball out at the shields and giving us another opportunity. So those are things that really helped us send that thing into overtime, and unfortunately we came out on the negative end of the turnover ledger. But those two plays to get a couple extra possessions were critical for the comeback.
You guys have a lot of youth in the wide receiver position, a lot of sophomores, some freshmen in there, including Marcel. He had a 200-yard game. What do you take away from that?
Yeah, and that's with Kyle Mason out for essentially 3 quarters, and Gene Louis, stepped in and did a really nice job. But Coach Brookhart's a guy that's coached 2 Biletnikoff Award winners, so I think his first rodeo developing the wide receivers, and even though we had to replace Norton and Granger and Golden, your 3 starters, I think we kind of started off a little bit of slow as we were getting our legs underneath us and developing chemistry and getting used to the system in game situations. But you didn't mention Polk. I really, our receiving core has really developed nicely over the course of the season.
Coach, going in overtime, 4th down, just walk me through what you guys were kind of thinking on that 4th down play.
On ours, they didn't get the 4th down.
Yeah.
So on our 4th down play?
Yeah, the pass to crap.
So when they were in 3rd and 4th down, in medium plus, and everything that we watched, generally speaking, it was cover 1 with pressure or cover 2 to Tampa. So I didn't think that they were going to play cover 1 there on that snap, and they did. They dropped out and played cover 2. So we had the tight end sit over the ball to replace the 2 Tampa Mike. And if he got squeezed, then whatever inside backer took it away, then we worked outside to that side. He sat over the ball, kind of got squeezed, been through a outside shoulder ball to him, and fortunately we weren't able to complete it. So we called it. I mean, it was a multi-purpose call, but it was 2 when we threw it to the guy you should throw it against in cover 2. And if you'd have caught it, I think we were past sticks.
Coach, you talked a lot about the offense, but kind of uncharacteristic defense. Just comments on them today.
Yeah. Kent State had been a team that thrived on explosive plays. They weren't an operation that had strung together 10 and 12 and 15 play drives. DeShields did a really nice job pushing the ball down the field, and Coach Patterson and Coach Carney did a nice job scheming it up to create throws down the field. And unfortunately, the biggest point of emphasis to our defense this week is we can't get the ball thrown over our head, and we can't have our eyes in the backfield. And there's a saying with defensive pass coverage: if you watch a quarterback throw it, you're going to see the receiver catch it. And a couple of times today, we were peeking in the backfield and been on a double move, and consequently the ball went over our head. So I don't even think they, 20 rushes for 77 yards, but a bunch of explosive plays, and those are ones that got us.
What was the decision-making process for the onside kick attempt?
Everyone, well, he asked me if he could do it, and I told him yes. that was the process. And when we meet as a staff on Friday prior to the game, we go through all those situations, and one of the discussion points on the checklist is onside kick, yes or no. And it's actually called popover, and he said, yeah, popover's there. So that was talked about yesterday, and had an opportunity to execute it.
Your kicker asked you about doing it, or a coach?
Oh, no, coach. Coach Vico,
okay.
special teams coordinator, yeah.
Coach Reno?
Matt Vico.
Oh, Vico, okay. You look at the stats. More rushing yards, more passing yards, total offense, first downs, 32 to their 14. Just what do you take away from the fact of all the stats? I mean, obviously they don't matter now, but just they do matter, they don't matter. But what do you take away moving forward of how good the offense was with the passing, the rushing, and receiving, and all that jazz?
Yeah. You've heard me. What up? How you feel? Good? All right, take that thing off. Thank you. The outcome of the game, generally speaking, from a statistical standpoint, is determined by explosive plays, margin, turnover margin, third down conversion percentage, red zone touchdowns, and then special teams. So if you win 4 of 4, there's a real high probability you win the game. 3 of 4, 2 of 4, 1 of 4. And I'm not sure how the explosive plays turn out, but I mean, at the end of the day, when it's close, it's going to come down to a handful of plays, and you're never sure which play it's going to be. So yes, the statistics bore out that we were had the advantage in a lot of those categories. But I told these guys in the locker room coming out of halftime that turnover margin was going to determine it, and I think we were 2-1, right?
I believe.
Yeah.
There's so many stats there.
Yeah.